After today's proceedings, before we start, just the usual sort of things we get out of the way. If there's any bombs, you go that way. If there's a fire, you go that way. Bar, that way. Toilets that way, and all the other shops that way. That's it, that's that one done. Watch the wires as you run in, and we're all good to go. Okay, myself, I'll see them from Get Out of Debt Free. Got Rob Freeman, and we've got Rob Bollocks who will be here shortly. Speakers for today, in that order. We've got a lot that we're going to be going through, a lot that we're going to be talking about. It's a proactive day. So it's fantastic to see such a great turnout. In fact, I think this is looking like our best turnout so far. So, Critical Mass Radio, you all know Critical Mass Radio, what we try and do. The purpose of it was to bring everybody together, all groups, Free the North West, We Are Change, all these different kind of groups, Get Out of Debt Free, etc., and bring us all together and start being proactive. Like many of you guys now, you've been awake for quite a long time, I would have said. And a few years back, it was all in the air, nobody knew where to catch anybody, meet anybody, everyone was looking for groups, nobody knew where to sort of meet up, and everyone was looking to see what was going on. Now, it's all changed now. We've moved very, very quickly in the last few years. Groups are doing a lot of good work up and down the country, a lot of meetups, and a lot of sort of proactive things happening, but it's not enough, and that's why I'm going to be talking today. So, are you ready there, Lisa?
Yeah.
First one. Thank you. Right, okay. Proactive, let's just start with the proactive side of things first. I went to school in 1989, and YTS, if anybody doesn't know, any young people back there. Youth training scheme, as it was then, full of hope, great stuff, boys' school, out into the world, £29.50 a week, doing a YTS. I was going to be a joiner, I was going to be a plumber, I was going to be everything, the world was my oyster and all that crap. And I used to sort of work around people, blokes older than myself, who used to say, oh, this country's gone to the dogs, mate, you've got no chance, get yourself a stacker truck licence and you'll be fine. And that was it. And I used to listen to them and think, well, they're just little old men, and you know, the lives passed them by, they've got beer bellies and hair coming out of their ears and all that crap. So I didn't take any notice of it, and just sort of carried on. Now, you know, 24 years later, I'm sort of finding myself saying the same thing, the country goes to the dogs. And you can hear this in every other country. You can hear this in your local supermarket. You can hear this sat there talking to old people, and Greg's dribbling, talking about how crap things are and how they're fed up and how nothing works anymore and how things are different in their day. And the point I'm trying to make is, that old saying, the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, we all find ourselves saying that, and nothing's changed after all these years, and I don't think anything will, unless, like now, we do start being proactive and actually getting off our arses and doing something. Little comments that wind me up from people, and we get them at the station all the time. We get them for meetups, things like the great conference, but the chair was a bit uncomfortable, so I won't be coming to the next one, not for me. I was going to come, but it was raining, and I really didn't fancy it, that type of thing. What's the point of turning up at these meetups? And this is people listening, because this is going out all over the place. The purpose of turning up for these meetings is like this now, because we're going to have a great atmosphere, we're going to have a fantastic day, lots of beer flowing, everybody meeting new people. There's people from Sunderland, Scotland I was talking to before that have come all the way, even just for a few hours. So that's fantastic, and that's what we want. So well done to you guys. One of the inspirations for myself was Get Out Debt Free, and people say to me, £10 for this, £5 to go. You're taking a piss, aren't you? I'm not paying that. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Just by listening to Rob Freeman, Ceylon, Rob B, just for 10 minutes, you're going to save yourself hundreds of pounds, and that's what people don't realise. So everything, all these things, so well done to you all, because all these things cost money, they take a lot of time to set up. So for all them people out there on the internet saying, all the trolls, and there's probably a couple of them here today, saying things like, oh, well, you're just making money off it. But nobody's making money. Nobody in the Truth Movement makes money. We're just here to try and help each other. So, again, well done to you all, guys, because at least you're getting the hang of it now and you know what we're all about. So, yeah, how we're sort of moving forward then. Have you got, with the YTS, next slide there, Lisa. Right. These okay.
Why did you get the 53 quid?
Exactly, right, thank you. Right, so this is, I don't really say much here with all this. People seem to see these things and go, oh well, what can you, that's another line, what can we do about it? It's just always been this way. And you know, that's just politicians for you. Everyone knows they're corrupt, but they're doing this as they're voting as well as they're queuing up, which I still can't get my head around. You know, it doesn't make sense. But then you get smart arses telling you that £53 a week. I mean, like I say, people pay a tenner to come here, people have got a hotel, people just a portion of chips or whatever in a pint, and there's your £7, whatever, 57 that you spent in a day. So all that ball-headed. How that's going to sort of happen, I'm going to have to calm myself down here because these are the type of things that wind me up. So, this is what I'm saying, these are the type of things that we need to start overcoming, because we got to start getting angry about all this, right? And start working together and dealing with it all, because saying that there's nothing we can do about that, that's, we might as well just go, no, we might as well just give up, because your generation, the generation after, it's up to us. Alex said to me about 3 years ago, it's up to us now, it's up to this generation, otherwise, because the generation after, they haven't got a chance. And I wasn't sure if I believed it, but if you look at some of the kids now, and I'm not slagging people off, but if you just look around you, you just see what the generation is, and you think, you know, apart from the odd few, and there's got a couple of young people here today, which is great, you start wondering, you just think, we haven't got a chance. So it is up to us to start dealing with these people and start fighting this back peacefully. I'm going to say peacefully because there's a lot of fluffy people out there, Peace and Love Brigade, and they've got lots of nice fluffy ideas, and you know, it's all about love and great energies, and we should all be for each other and hugging each other, squeezing each other's bum and that type of thing, right? And then when it comes down to it, you disagree with one of them, and you've been slagged off right across the internet, right across the world, they're falling out with you, putting nasty messages up everywhere, and you don't want to speak to anymore, and they just roll up a big spliff and get stoned for the rest of the night, and that's it. So, next slide please, Lisa, thank you. This is what's happening when you sort of leave things to this. If we just going to just sort of step back, then that's going to happen. I mean, how many celebrities, I'm not allowed to mention them, are coming out now? How many celebrities are out there being sort of worded that they're being touching people up and doing nasty things? And that's what happens when you start turning a blind eye. Brian Clare was a guest that we had on Critical Mass about 3 or 4 months ago. Had virtually everybody in tears because of what he was subjected to as a kid in Sunderland, and he mentioned a few names then, way before the mainstream media came up. And that's another point I want to make. The mainstream media, the alternative media, us, it's up to us, and this is where, because they're watching us very closely. We did a show the other night, the Real Solution show there, and Paul Fitch, yourself there, don't you, mate? Got the first hour, we were talking about this, the whole meet-up, everything was going great. Next thing, it got off, I get a message from the guy, the service provider, saying, well, yeah, somebody's had a go. And it keeps happening. So the more we're touching the nerves, the more they're watching us, and they put it out in mainstream media, butter it, you know, watch it down, and this is what we're getting. This is the kind of thing, and there's more of it, as you know, that's happening every single day, and we're covering more and more and more. Yeah. And it should have stopped years ago. Mm-hmm. And it's only because people then said, I'm alright, give me another baby sham, let's get on with it. And this is where I'm up to. Next slide, please, one. This is where we're going.
Yeah.
This is where we're going. This is happening. There's two points on this. You've seen the old policeman on the street, the old Bobby that you used to sort of talk to even when you were a kid. And you don't see this anymore now. Now it's all becoming private. You all know what's happening. You see more and more. You start noticing these more and more. I'm seeing it, people dressed up in these. Even if it's just like they say, so-called security guard. If you start seeing how much power these people actually have when you start questioning them, they do have a lot more power. You can sort of, they basically arrest you now for virtually anything. Apparently, this it saved 20 million setting this police force up. Saved 20 million. You keep saying about all these savings, don't they, the government? Yeah, but it's saving us 20 million, it's saving us 50 million. Well, I don't see anybody receiving any of this money. I've never seen anybody receiving any of this money. Every day, you know, we're scraping, trying to get by, and these making billions off us every single week. And it's happening across the world, again, because nobody's saying anything, and that's what today is all about. Throughout today, listening to Rob Ceylon and Rob B, they will be giving us some methods, some organisation skills. We'll be talking about groups that are getting together and some ideas that we're putting together in order to stop the control that these people are putting on us, to take the thumb off our heads. Ceylon was in a bit of an altercation with you about 3 or 4 weeks ago, standing up for the rights of other people and himself, and police basically stood by. It's more that Ceylon's going to talk about on that. But that's the type of thing that's happening, guys, if we don't all stand next to each other. So this is what I'm talking about, being proactive. We need each other to be here, linking arms for each other. So this is the whole day's events, that's where we're going with. Next slide, please. This really winds me up.
Right.
Here we go.
Surprise.
Here we go. So that thing where you used to go into the boss's office and it took you a week because you were crapping yourself and you were scared just to ask for another £500 a month. And these people are getting, I think it's gone from, what was it, 68,000 to, sorry, it's 78,000, and it's gone up to 96,000. That's what they wanted. They thought that's what they are worth. This is what I'm saying. That's aside from the expenses. So, and we know about the expenses there, which we'll talk about a bit with somebody who's just passed on, glorious ex-leader. So, it's, it just, people read this every day in work and they talk about it, oh God, it's disgusting that, and they say it over and that's it, it's forgotten. And we can't let this ride anymore. I can't stress that enough. We have to start taking action. And the hardest thing, and you all know this, the people the hardest to convince are your friends and family. They all look at you like you're mad. They don't get what you're saying, and they come out with things like, yeah, but we did all this 30 years ago, so we've had our day. And it's like they're giving up. And they're the hardest people, and if we can't convince them that there's a massive change taking place, which there is, then we're going to be struggling with everything else, just newcomers to all these different types of groups. Lad there from Scotland before was saying, I want some help starting up a group in Scotland because it's hard there. I met a couple of lads from Ireland in Middleton, and they were saying the same thing. The only know is Manchester, Liverpool seems to be the place where everything's happening. Sheffield is now, and Leeds is starting to wake up to everything. So I'm seeing it through the station every single day, and the groups that we're involved with, I'm seeing the amount of people coming together and the amount of work that's been done is absolutely fantastic. If we all come together and say no, then that kind of crap stops basically, doesn't it? Well, next one please. He's here again, him. Okay. Right. There's really nothing I can say on this because that's how much they're taking the piss out of us when they can say, you've got a spare bedroom and basically we're going to tax you. The powers that be with all the castles and all the mansions and 500 extra bedrooms that they've got, nothing. It's the same old story. You've heard all this before, you don't even need to tell you any of this. But when people stand up in public and say things like that and they actually justify it, where people agree with it to the point where, yeah, I can see the point. Well, it's putting money back into the community, we have to start paying our way. That's how they've got us. They've got us completely twisted, apart from the people in this room and some people watching it. And again, that's insulting. They're openly taking piss out of us. Yeah, it's not as if they're trying it on a little bit. How far can we push it? They're going. These are thick. These people. We throw as much crap at them as we can, and they're that stupid. They'll take it. And you know what? We've all been that stupid, and we've all been taking it until now. The last couple of years, unfortunately, more and more people still accept that. If you go into Manchester, if you go nip out after in between talks and you go around and you see everybody with 15 bags of shopping, zombie looks on the faces, hot dogs sticking out of the faces. It's frightening, isn't it? It's frightening. You've seen it wherever you come from. It's frightening. This is what we're up against. People are sort of this brainwashed, dense look on them until they wake up. Next slide, home, please. I don't get this at all, but this is what's been happening through time. Now, this train that none of us want, it's ripping up all the countryside in England. They're making absolute millions of it. Again, they're saying that there's going to be something like 40 million that's going to be made from it, and over time there's money coming in, there's revenue coming in, but nobody sees it. We're still using crap roads, we're still using crap services, we've still got no benefits. So where does all this money go? It goes to the few at the top, I mean the backhanders, as you know, slapping each other's head, and that's it. And again, but people just talk at that and just accept it as, well, that's life, this is what we are, this is how it is, and this is how it's always going to be. And we know that it doesn't have to be like that. And they know now, that we're starting to click onto a lot of this, and that's why they're putting the foot down in a lot of things. There's sort of money, I mean, there's a lot of opposition to this, and they're still going through with it. And that's the power that they think they have, where they can just go, it doesn't matter, let them go up with the little boards, it doesn't matter. They'll still keep doing it until we stop them. You got the next one, please. Lisa, thank you. Right, this, another one, right, I don't know, a lot of you people who just come in on the way here. There's a pebble. That's a pebble. That's a pebble. It costs £20,000. It's a bit of sculpture that you have in your local city centre. £20,000 for a frigging pebble. Right? I've seen people on a Saturday night, right? This is on a pebble. And they're talking about, you can't have that, we can't spend money on this, we can't spend money on that. But what we'll do is we'll commission a frigging pebble like that in a minute, right? And people taking pictures of it, rubbing it, and good luck charms. And it's a pebble. And you've all got something like that. Wherever you are in the country, you know, you're walking through your city centre, even your town centre, and there'll be a stupid frigging obstacle like that that's cost thousands of your money, right? Again, but people don't see it. Now, in some cases, you know, if you can pick it up and skim it across the water, it might be useful. I don't know if there's someone big enough to have to like that. But that's the only, there's no use for it. So it's not as if it's helping anyone. But again, you don't really think about these things because you just go past them every day and you see a pebble, you think, oh, well, and that's it, and it's gone. But again, the money that's been taken from us that could have been put to something else, you know, it's just disappearing, and it's disappearing on that. And it's these councillors, because we'll be looking at councillors again throughout the day, because what we'll be looking at are bailiffs. The councillors in particular is something that will be how corrupt they are and how much we're all suffering because of these councils. Again, I think it was one council that I read something a couple of years ago in £16,000 on tea and biscuits that they spent over the year. And I think it was more than that. I'm just trying to watch it down, but it was, yeah. So basically, you know, these little meetings for, you know, tea and biscuits. That was some dinner time. That was okay. We've got another one there, I think. Right. Thank you. Right. These this is what I'm talking about. The amount of people that come even to the radio station, come to these groups, who sign up for the groups and they say things like, yeah, that's it, yeah, I'm going to meet you there, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be out there, yeah, power to the people, I've had enough of this, I'm sick of it, I've got holes in my jeans and pissed off, right? And then you go to a meeting, I've had it already this morning, people say I can't make it for whatever. You can't make it to every single meeting, but when you're making it, when people make excuses and people watching this, it does affect the group, it does affect what we're trying to do. Because because it's the same people turning up and doing the same thing every single time, and we are seeing an increase in people doing that, which is great. But it's the same people again who say that they're going to be out there doing everything, and they're talking out their arse. So all the people talking out their arse, if you don't think turning up to these meetings helps, then you're wrong. If you don't think donating 50 pence to one of these sites, it helps. Honestly, we're all working like you guys do. You know, every hour we got, people got kids, this, that, the other, and then every spare bit of time we're out in Liverpool talking about chemtrails, you know, out in Manchester, Leeds, everywhere. This is what they're doing. This is what we have to do with every bit of time we've got committed. And you need people, you think it's not affecting them, when it's affecting them every single day, you know that. Agenda 21, Rob B will be talking about Agenda 21 later on in the afternoon. William Hague, here's another one. Defends taxpayers' money for Thatcher's funeral. I think we were getting figures around 10 million now. It's different figures. Okay. She wasn't very popular, especially up here. But yet, you can justify apparently spending 10 million on a funeral. And do you know what? Let's just say anybody's funeral from the state. It's vile. And he's saying that William Hague said, yeah, but it's the money that she brought in. It's the money that she brought in. You should be thankful for what she did. You never had that old comment, you've never had it so good that she came out with. Nobody else has seen it. So again, it's a few people. The members of the European Parliament, MEPs, don't quote me because these are sort of, you get different figures as much as the research that we can do. Apparently they're getting £300 just for clocking on in the morning. It's that type of thing that's going on. And you keep seeing things like that. I'll be reading something out, but again, this is something else that we'll be taking the piss out on. Barclays' secret tax avoidance factory that made $1 billion a year disbanded, profit disbanded. So what it is, Barclays had a sort of like a little quango. People used to get together and go, how can we screw the public? And they were making, like, let's say, $1 billion a year. So we know the banks are at it, we know who's at the top of this, we know who's doing it all. Yeah? But again, money being taken out. So we've seen it from pebbles to banks where the money's been taken, okay? This I want to read out. This was on Rob Freeman's show, the Art of the Matrix show, a couple of weeks ago, and it's something I've been looking at. Now, when you're going, you start to see it more and more now. To me, it's a stealth tax, and it's hard because people don't like talking about it because it's charities, and they don't like to sort of harm the charities, which is right because there's a lot. Let's not generalise here. There's a lot of charities doing a lot of good work. for the last few years I thought, how are these people affording this? How are these charities affording to pay people out in the streets to come up to you and my idea to death on your dinner time to sort of sign up to some charity? Especially the WWF, they watch that one, that's bloody hell. Right, these figures I'm going to read out. Cancer Research UK staff wages 2012. Well, thanks to Rob Freeman for letting me have this. Right, one person gets between the 210,000 and 220,000, so to tell you who these people are, so I'm just going to structure it down. Two people get around 170 and 180,000, this is wages, and it goes on from 160 to 170 and so on and so on and so on. 28 people get 80,000 to 90,000, 36 people get 70,000 to 80,000. Total wages total more than 107.3 million for 2012. So charities, that's some screw that is for having a charity. You see what I mean? Now, let's not stop supporting charities. Let me just make that clear before we start getting complaints. But let's be careful about who we are supporting, because that is more rife than you know. That type of thing is happening all over the place, and that's got to stop. Again, proactive, coming together, working together. We're all in it together. You've got the next slide home, please. I was going to get this guy in here somewhere. Roberto John, the best. We are winning. I've seen it for the last. I see it every single day. The amount of work that people are doing, the amount of progress that's happening, the amount way forward from when I saw Get Out Debt Free a few years back to what it is now. And I mean, God, if you just have to go on the forum with thousands and thousands of posts and thousands of people working on it. Rob Freeman getting chased down the street everywhere he goes now for autographs and advice. You can't even go to the loo without getting hassled, that guy. So, you know, Critical Mass Radio, all these, Freedom Northwest, We Are Change, all these groups, they're doing fantastically well, and I'm seeing it, and I wouldn't be standing here today if I thought we won't get anywhere. But what we are saying is we need to consolidate this now, and we need to move forward as one. So I want to say thank you really to all of you guys, because I know I've seen a lot of faces, I keep seeing the same faces out there, and I keep seeing them at all these different demos. You need to do that. If you need any help setting up your own sort of groups everywhere, just let us know, let the people know, and we can help you. We're all there, that's it, we're all one big unit, and we'll try and help you more. We've got to get these fuckers out at the top. I believe in going for the ones that are mouthing it off, the ones at the top, right? The Freeman aspects where we're dealing with things day to day, writing out letters, you know, for me I'd say, excuse the French guys, I know I'm being swearing a bit, I know it's a bit early, but fuck them, right? I don't pay anything. Because while I'm seeing people like that laughing it up at our expense, I don't see why I should pay it. It doesn't make sense to me to be paying it. It's wrong. It's vile. I just can't do it anymore. So just, you know, these ways that you can tackle them, or just everything letters being thought. And collectively, you've got 100 people down the street not paying council tax, poll tax. There you go. There's a winner. What are you going to do unless you're all on the same day? Can't do it. If you all know who's in it together, if you all know that this group's part of, you know, Point B branch of We Are Change, then that's fantastic. You all it together, and if we stand together while people's houses are being taken out from them, when they've got kids crying, when the kids are being taken from them, but if you stand there and we've got, you know, 30, 40, 50, 60 people stood outside the door with 4 coppers, yeah, and 2 bailiffs, bulldogs stood there thinking of the big I am, they're not going to stop us. They can't stop us. Safety in numbers is the key, right? It's a group effort. That's what we're all here for today. We need to keep it up. Remember these words. Remember how good you're doing, and remember how far we've come in the last few years. If you fast forward and we keep going at this rate, we're going to be doing some fantastic stuff. So, guys, enjoy the rest of today. That's basically it from me. We've got Ceiling up next. Thank you all for coming. Thank you very much.